first thing you're going to want to do is take off your seat. Now that you got your seat off, you're going to want to take your gas tank off as well. Now you're going to want to loosen up that bolt for the subframe. Take this subframe bolt out and do the same for the other side. Just loosen that one. And you want to take off this hose clamp right there, or at least loosen it. Both will work. Now the whole subframe should just slide back. Well, after some trial and error, I got the subframe pulled back, and the reason why you do that is so the boot slides off of the rear end of the carb. That way you can take the carb off a lot easier. I found that I had to loosen, or actually take out, this expansion chamber bolt. That way the it would allow some movement where I could get this to slide out a little bit more. So, but yeah, I got it off now. So let's take off the carburetor. So I got the carb mostly out. Now just go ahead and remove these two screws at the top. One right there and one on the other side. Once you get the carb off and you put it upside down or just lay it down sideways on your bench, it will obviously leak gas because there is still some residual in the float bowl. Now I wouldn't recommend taking your carburetor off if your bike is still really dirty. I've already pressure washed my bike prior to this, but I didn't take off the seat or the gas tank then wash it, obviously, or else it would be much cleaner. And I'm not going to take it outside and re-pressure wash it just because it is pouring down rain, and I'll just take the risk. Now I would recommend cleaning off the outside of the carb as much as you can before you actually open anything up, because you don't want a big piece of dirt going inside of the carburetor and screwing something up, because that's what will happen. Now that you've cleaned the bowl off as much as you can, to get it off, you're going to need to take this bolt out, which is a 17mm, and just this screw over here with a Phillips head. Now take your Phillips head and take off that little screw right there. So basically from here you just take off whatever you can find and of course put it back the way you found it. When you're done, and just kind of blow off anything that you can get to in the jets and everything. And if it looks like the O-ring is cracked or brittle and leaking, go ahead and replace it. Just go ahead and reinstall that. Take off the pilot jet. So if the jet looks clean and you can see right through it, go ahead and reinstall it. You can go ahead and put this little screw on and the float bowl. And replace your float bowl gasket if it is leaking. In this case, mine is a little bit, so I will replace it. Reinstall it back on the carburetor. And last but not least, the air fuel mixture screw. And I won't be putting these on just because the jet's the wrong size. This needle, I don't need it. Everything seems to be fine when I'm cranking on it. It's just at idle mainly. Wrong size. I will be putting this on. This goes on right here. And yeah, so that's basically it on the cleaning. Now let's put it back together. It's also really helpful to have something like this, where bolts tells you subframe, seat, the other one rattled out, tank bolt, shroud bolts. Something that I recommend doing because it's easy to lose track of bolts when you're just taking them apart quickly. So I finally got the carb on. Now you put on the hose clamps on that side and that side, and just hook up your, say the overflow valve, hook up that little tube. There's a couple on the other side you got to do up. I've already done those. And yeah, so we're almost done. So once you've done all that, you can go ahead and start tightening all of your subframe bolts. There, and that is how to clean / rebuild your carburetor on your Honda CR250. Thanks for watching.